Welcome everybody to Cold Turkey Interview. And tonight, interview I've been really looking forward to because let me introduce, or actually introduce yourself there, brother. Who am I talking to?
You're talking to the one and only
Yep.
Philly O'Daly.
This is Philly Day. Philly Day. And Philly's a good friend of mine. Philly has managed to stay clean for 5 years. You got Phil 5, 6 nearly now.
You robbed me, I told you 5.5.
Every day counts. Hey, so let's get right into it. Phil, tell us about your using, bro.
Well, as every addict knows, fucking using is horrendous.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's horrendous. And I think the only people that really understand that is the people that are using. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Well, obviously not. Like, obviously family have consequences of our using as well. But
Yes.
I'm talking about, like, the people that really understand is the likes of us. Like,
Yeah. Facts.
I suppose using for me was like, it started like way back, Paul. It started. It was like, I used to watch my mates going out at the start, to the raves when they were 14 and all. And I remember looking at them and thinking, I'd love to do that, but I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because I was big into the sport and all back then.
Right.
I was only 14.
Yes.
And I remember one time, it was just after my birthday, it was just after my 14th birthday, I says, fuck it, I'll start going out. I'll start going with them. And I used to tell...
With the local lads, like,
the
go
local
out and
lads,
hanging out.
No, they'd be all fucking off into the raves.
Out to the raves, right.
Do you know what I mean? With the old backpacks on them and the
Yeah,
whistles and stuff.
yeah.
The old
The
hats
bum
on.
bag and the suit.
Yeah.
Hey.
And I remember, I was only gone 14, and I remember thinking to myself, fuck it, I'll give it a go. I'll say to the young and outlet, I'm going to stay in such and such's house.
Right.
And as soon as I went, I talked to her like a duck to fucking water. I loved it, like, you know what I mean? Because it was like, we was out where a lot of grown-ups, what we speak about before.
Yes.
We started this, like, you know what I mean? That period thing of geez, I'm in the middle of a nightclub here, or I'm in the middle of a club, and there's loads of bleeding blokes older than me and girls older than me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, at 14, you're going to be one of the youngest in that club scenario.
Right.
Yeah.
Actually, I probably wasn't, because there was loads of kids in it.
Yeah.
And you used to have to walk up to the door and let on you were older, like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
But I was always looked older for my age, and anyways. And I remember coming out of there, and a lot of lads be taking the E's and stuff.
Yes, yeah.
Um,
Now, would you have been tapping on the E at the first couple of times in the rave, or were you just going for the dancing?
the second time I went there, I said, fuck, I'll take a half an E.
Let's see
you know
what's
what I mean?
happening, yeah.
And I remember when I took that, it was like a different world that I was in. Like, it was a crazy experience. Like, you know what I mean? I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. Straight away, it lit me up.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I remember then watching the lads smoking gear.
Smoking heroin, that is.
Yeah.
After the...
After the raves.
to come down.
Yeah,
and stuff.
I'm thinking to myself, wow, they're knackers, man. I wouldn't be doing that shit, man. That's really fucked
That's
up.
taking it too far.
That's really fucked
yeah.
up. And within a couple of weeks, I was doing that, Paul.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And I remember after a couple of weeks of smoking it, one of the lads says, "Oh, fuck that, Philly. Let's have a skin pop."
Yeah, and you're like,
stick a needle in your arm. Oh, fuck, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what I done.
Yeah.
And that's what I done. And I remember then, after a couple of weeks, feeling a bit like I was coming down with the flu.
Yeah, you didn't know what was going on.
And I was like, what the fuck is happening to me?
Classic story.
And before I knew I was addicted.
And how long did that go on for, that addiction in your life, Phil?
From when I was 14 till I was 38, Paul.
Whoa, yeah. So you had the normal addictive behaviour, the full chaos of addiction, took you to your knees.
Right down.
Tell me about the worst of times.
Many a times.
Yes.
Many a
course,
times.
yeah.
You hear these people saying, "Oh, the rock bottom."
Yeah.
What about 900 fucking rock bottoms?
Here's your brother, yeah.
You know what I mean? And there was all different stages. Like, you know what I mean? There was the bad ones, not so bad, but bad. Obviously bad to the normal Joe. So, and then it would be progressively getting fucking worse.
And that's very interesting. Like somebody's rock bottom could be farting at a cocktail party. Where another guy, he's got to be stripped naked, he's got to be in jail, facing loads of charges. and his wife leaving him, and having complete chaos, that might be his rock bottom. So it's all relative.
Yeah.
But I know when you're talking about the rock bottom of a heroin addict and a Dublin heroin addict, that you know, it was hardcore. Yeah.
Yeah. Like there was times, Paul, I was sleeping in parks and all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because my family just, not that they didn't want me there. I became
so
a burden, and I could feel it myself. Like, you know what I mean?
Sure, bro.
I could feel it myself that I became a burden on them. You know, and then I've had the mother and my kids pass away while I was in addiction. Like,
Do you mind touching on that for us there, Phil? That was just before you went into treatment.
That was just
right?
before I went about a year before I went into treatment. Yeah.
Just
that was the final thing, because I'd seen the love of my kids
Yes.
for their mother, and I'd watched them walk around me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I'd watched them in a world of hurt.
And bro, your girl, did she pass from drugs?
No.
Oh, she didn't. Oh my God. Okay, right.
So I watched them in a
But
world
she
of hurt,
passed
Paul. You
anyway.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was the impetus for me to get clean.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Now I've tried umpteen times to get sober for myself, and I couldn't do it.
Right.
Because I didn't love myself enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're just, you know, as addicts, we don't love
We
ourselves
don't,
enough.
no.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, we can't be loving ourselves or banging needles into our bleeding groins and shit. Like, you know what I mean?
True
Because
story, man.
that's a real form of self harm. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I find that.
And at that time, right, when you went into your worst, your girl had just passed. That would have been, you went into Kundar Treatment Centre, is
Yeah.
that right, the detox? That's where I met you first.
Yeah.
I was in there as well,
Yeah.
and I had a patient, you came in.
Yeah.
That's right, brother, yeah. So tell us about that experience. You did Kundar, and you went on then to do, which is a detox facility in Dublin. And then Phil went on to Keltai, which I did myself. I think I was just leaving at the time you came in, because I was a certain amount of weeks ahead of you. But I was actually looking forward to you coming over there, because we'd had a bit of crack, a few nice conversations in Kundara. But I was coming up to graduating at that time when you were just coming in. You were following on from the detox to the treatment facility. Yeah.
Do you know what happened for me,
Paul?
Do you know what happened for me?
Yeah.
You see, I went in through Soldier in town, which is a day program in town.
The day program.
And it's probably, I've been in a couple of day programs through the services.
Yes.
You know, because I was 20 odd years on methadone, like, you know what I mean, on clinics and stuff. And I went into the services, like, going through detox programs.
Yeah.
But they weren't, like, you know what I mean, HSE detox programs like the way it is in Soldier. It was just like, you know, for me personally, a lot of it was geared towards, you know, getting money out the government for them, you know what I mean? And pumping into their establishment, and not really geared into getting people clean.
Yes.
And when I went into Soldier was the first place. I actually thought Soldier was an Irish school when someone mentioned it to me. I was like, what the fuck is that? Like,
Yeah.
But when I went in there, it was geared towards getting clean, getting you into treatment.
That was the objective.
That was the objective for anyone going into Soldier.
Yes, yeah.
You go in, you do a detox in there gradually, and then when you get down to a certain amount of methadone, and you see that you're
serious.
willing.
Yes, I'm willing. Yeah.
To get you into treatment, and that's how I ended up in Kildare.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And what a great experience in Kildare. You know, you get a lot of addicts and probably be bollocks. Like, I mean, my treatment wasn't a great experience, but for me it was, because it was the first time that I ever got fucking freed up from taking drugs.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I couldn't do it on the outside, and it was the very first time that I ever got freed up from taking drugs.
You know what, Phil? I remember meeting you the first day. It was in the afternoon. We just had lunch, and I was ready to nearly graduate. You were only there for a couple of days.
Wasn't it?
But hey, I had it.
Yeah.
And I appreciated it, because I didn't eat when I was using. But I'll tell you what, I remember you coming in, bro, and we were chatting out the back and I having a cigarette, and I was ready to graduate then in a couple of days. But I remember thinking, that guy's going to do it. I just had that sense. I thought that about you and Dazzler at the time. Just, you were there, you had enough. And there was good conversations with you guys, and there was good banter, but I just remember the serious intent you had behind it.
Yeah.
I thought, this guy's going to do it.
Because, do you know why? Because for me it was, I'd started embarking on a 12-step program before I actually went in. So I had the lingo.
Yes,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had the lingo, but not only that, I was really determined to try changing my fucking life.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And obviously, as addicts, we don't change overnight. Like, you know what I mean?
No.
But I had a determination in me to change my life.
Yes.
And as I said, I embarked on a 12-step program before I went into treatment.
Yeah.
Before I went into Kildare. So I had that real drive.
You had a foundation.
I had a drive in me to say, I want better for my fucking self. I always did.
Yeah. I can
Do
hear
you know what I
you,
mean?
bro. Tell us, this is really interesting. I did the same program, the same detox, and you know, I stumbled and fell. You know, pretty shortly after, maybe a couple of months after. So tell me, what did you do that helped you stay? You know, you've been doing this for like 20 years now. Here you are in treatment. You have a new resolve. Your girl's passed away. You've got to take charge of your
I told you
two
what it was.
kids.
I told you what it was.
Tell
It was
me
me
again.
kids.
Your kids, yeah.
It was me kids. I held them in my heart. I mean that.
Good for you.
I held them in my heart because I was like, I have 4 children, Paul.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
With two with that girl.
The
With two with that girl.
passed
Do you know what really broke me as well?
Go on.
When she passed, as I said, I watched my kids walk around the wall of hood.
Yeah.
My third young fella, I wasn't seeing him at all.
Okay.
And my young one, my
Yeah.
youngest, she's 9 now.
Yeah.
She was 3 at the time, I think she was. And I remember walking by the chemist. It was a Stevens' night.
Right.
And I remember walking by the chemist that I used to go and get my methadone in, and she said to me, Daddy, there's your chemist. And I cried my eyes out all the way up the road within that pram because that's what she said.
There's your
And I was like, me bollocks, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
So, they were believing God, yeah. They were believe that, as we talked about signs and stuff, yeah. But I believe that circumstances happened in my life
Mm-hmm.
that got me to where I am today.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
believe that, like, you know, that my kids at the time were the main reason why I says to myself, I have to fucking change. Do you know?
Absolutely. And look at you now, Phil. You're grafting away there. You've come straight from work today, and I really appreciate that to make time for this interview. But you've got a great story, I hope, from what was once a desperate life, of desperate addiction, and you've been to the so stereotypical rock bottom, if we call it, because you've been out there homeless, with a full drug addiction and with terrible despair. Did you ever think of taking your life? Have you come to those points? Or did you always, because your kids were there, feel, I got to do this?
No, obviously, I think, look, any addict that's on their arse, do you know what I mean, with drug addiction, obviously has fantasies or thoughts that, look, we can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've often went to bed and thought, just don't let me wake up in the morning.
I know.
I can't do this shit anymore.
I know.
But I just didn't have the bollocks to do it.
Hey, look at you now, bro.
Yeah,
You're
I'm glad I
fine.
didn't.
You're 5.5 years into it, and you're working away, grafting hard. And what is, I know it's your children were your motivation and everything, but what is, from yourself, what is your driving principle like now in staying clean? Yeah.
So I think about it, right? Obviously, my kids were
Mm-hmm.
my first initial thing to get clean for.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? And you know the old stereotypical fucking saying is, oh, you have to stay clean for yourself. And it's true.
Yeah.
But I think because I didn't know myself, and I don't think any addicts knows themselves when they're strung out at a young age
Mm-hmm.
to the age that I got to. But it's that self-discovery thing, isn't it?
Yes.
For me it is.
Yeah.
It's like finding out who the fuck I am, what the fuck I like.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I remember when we were in Kilndara, I remember, see, I'm a Sagittarian, right?
Yeah.
And I think, you know, you can't be a Sagittarian and not be deep. You can't be a Sagittarian and not have philosophical thoughts.
Right.
Yeah. So,
yeah, I rock with Sagittarius all the time. Sagittarius, Leos, Aries,
and I always remember that, Paul, because when I come into Kilndara, I remember having conversations with you out the back.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it was summertime.
Yes, it was.
I remember having conversations with you out the back, and I was like, thank God I didn't come in here and meet another bleeding lunatic. I met someone that was able to have a deep conversation with me. We had a few conversations at the back. I know we were only there for a week or something before you left. But yeah, that's what, like, so now, like, you know what I mean, what drives me in recovery is that, you know, and I lost myself a little bit.
Right.
Coming in the last few months, like, you know what I mean?
I hear you, man.
But it's that self-examination of yourself, isn't it?
Absolutely. And would you agree, Phil, that you know, for a successful recovery from that demon drug, that basically once we get clean, we got to start really. It's not. It only starts then when we get clean.
Look at Paul. I think a lot of people in recovery They're very creative people.
Yes.
Very creative.
Yes.
You know, and I think
agree.
if we're not doing shit, we're fucked.
And this is
If
this is
we're
a
not doing
really
stuff,
important
we're fucked.
point. This.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we like have this creative energy, us people, I would call us. And if we're not being creative, we're going to be destructive.
Yeah.
Because that energy needs to get out.
Yeah.
They have a god in India called Shiva. Well, it's god, goddess. It's an androgynous god, male and female. And it sits like that. And it's got like creativity here and destruction right here. And basically, it's a representation of that energy.
It's like yin and yang, isn't it?
Absolutely. But what it tells us is, and symbolically, that if you have this Shiva-like energy and you're not being creative, you will be destructive. That energy needs to get out. You see, I'm a firm believer that everything is about energy. When we get clean, it's very important for us to make a journey of self-discovery with introspection. That means looking inwards
Yeah.
at
That's what I was
ourselves.
saying.
How can we accept ourselves and love ourselves if we don't know ourselves? Isn't it?
Yeah. And I think, like, you know, for me, it was like, you know, as I said, I got lost a little bit in the last year.
Right.
I started chasing the money again. Like, you know,
Yeah.
you're walking. Like, you know, I've been walking a few years in recovery, but like, as I said to you, like, you know,
Yeah.
today, the job that I fell into, I love it. Do
Great.
you know what I mean? I get a little bit of a trade out of it. You know what I mean?
Lovely, Bob, yeah.
At 44 years of age, like, you know what I mean?
That's wonderful. I'm 57.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, well, you look, I don't.
yeah. I'll give you
No,
that.
seriously. But it's like, you know, I'm doing stuff that I love now.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do, man. Yeah. When you love what you do, you never really work, brother.
No.
You know, and it's not work in the sense of, oh, this burden.
But that's what I'm saying to you. I don't get up in the morning and say,
Yeah.
oh, it's fucking kid, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I actually get up and I get into work, like, you know, and I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I like the people I work with.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Now, it's a bit of a mad place. Like, I walk down to the Children's Hospital down there, the building, James's.
James, yeah.
And,
It's a big site, that.
it's a huge site.
Yeah.
It's a huge site, like, you know what I mean? But I love it.
You love it.
I absolutely love it.
And tell us, well, what do you do, like, during the COVID, in your spare time, socialising, a man who doesn't drink, smoke, or do anything like that? What do you do, brother, to give yourself some social outlet, or to...
Normally, during the COVID or before it?
Well, do both.
Well,
say.
before it.
Yeah.
Before it, I was like, you know what I mean, you do the usual, like, you know what I mean, as recovering addicts, like the coffee shop, and
Yes,
you know what I mean,
yeah.
meet up with a few friends and
Yeah.
go over a bite to eat, or being on holidays in recovery, like, you know what I mean, foreign holidays and stuff that I didn't normally do, like, you know what I mean, when I was active, like, you know what I mean, I went on the odd holiday, foreign holiday, when I was active, but, you know, to be going away with another lunatic, a good friend of mine in recovery, like, you know what I mean, and being away a few times, and you know, just being able to go away and be yourself and enjoy yourself without having to take on, you know what I mean, is a luxury.
I know, and the sense of
That
freedom.
not most men have it nowadays, like, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
that come into recovery, or that are through addiction.
And so in the COVID, do you find it more difficult for that little social outlet with all the coffee shops shut?
Yeah, well, okay, listen, come near probably a year ago, 2 years ago, I wasn't even doing much of that stuff, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I do miss that side of it now.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? And I was only saying to someone the other night that you won't know how grateful we are for the small little things who come out of this shit.
You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And obviously for addicts, like, it's always about being fucking grateful for something, isn't it?
Yeah, indeed.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely, man.
But, like, you know, I discussed it with you, like, my father only passed away there, like, at Christmas, just
I'm sorry
2
to
weeks
hear that,
ago.
brother, yeah.
So, like, I was really run into the ground with that stuff, like, I mean, since Christmas.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because he was diagnosed with cancer after Christmas, just the week after Christmas, and he was dead within 3 weeks. Like, you know
It
what
was
I mean?
very dear to you.
Yeah, 100%. And it was just fucking hard work, Paul. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Now, everything I've done or haven't done, it wasn't to say, it wasn't for adulation. To say, oh, look, Philly's a great fucking fella, isn't he? It was done for my dad, you know.
Of course.
And
You had to pick up all the pieces.
just exhausted with it.
Yeah.
I had a lot of stuff going on privately, like, in my life, you know.
Sure.
And I was just fucking exhausted with it all. But I feel like I'm coming out the other side of it now.
Did you find much support from other recovering addicts?
Yeah, one or two close friends.
They're great though, aren't they? Those that are...
See, the old addict is always old empathetic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Towards another addict. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I find that anyways.
Yes, indeed.
I don't. Look, not everyone is fucking great in recovery. We're all still human beings at the end of the day, and we all have traits that are good and traits that are bad.
Yeah.
You know, but majority of us, I think, have the best intentions. And look, even people that I don't like in recovery, not that I don't like, I don't dislike anyone, but even people that wouldn't be my cup of tea, say,
Yes.
in recovery, you'd never wish anything bad on them.
No, and you can respect them. You may
100%.
not be connected, but you can respect them for what they've done with themselves. They've come through this horrific addiction. They may not be somebody you'd click with or bounce with, but you can still give them that respect because of what they've done with their own life. Right? I hear you there, bro.
100%.
I find them a great people in recovery. You know, you're right. An addict recovered is a wonderful friend. Can be a wonderful friend, and a great support and
But
help.
we share that bond, Paul, you know.
Yes, we do.
It's that, you know, warrior fucking mentality type of thing.
You've got to be.
Look, listen,
You've got to be. You're
as
dead
I said,
right.
I've gone
Yeah.
through a bit of shit since Christmas, and you know, there was times where I was thinking, oh, this is a load of bollocks, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was all self-pity stuff. you know,
Right, right.
And as I said, for the last couple of weeks, I'm starting to come out of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I struggled over Christmas. It was like a lot of times I spent in a box bedroom with the blackout blinds pulled down.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was going into myself again, like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
But I've started to do a lot of stuff. You know what I mean?
What are you doing that's helping you, Phil, from this space of mind? Because
So I'm doing a lot of stuff that I
Yeah.
started doing at the start of my recovery,
right, you start checking the small things again, have you?
which is reading.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Whether it's like, you know, stuff, AA stuff,
Okay.
whether it's, I don't like promoting,
But hey,
I'm not
listen,
promoting. Whether it was
positive
that,
feedback.
I've ordered a couple of books, like I love poems.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And I've ordered a couple of books. I'll start doing a bit of writing again.
Hey,
Do you know what I mean?
wonderful.
Just that sort of stuff is healing stuff for me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And it's what I done at the start of my recovery that I sort of negated and left to the side. You know what I mean?
And tell us, Phil, have you got any poems off in your head? I'd love to hear
No.
one because I'm a mad
No,
fan of poetry
no,
and
no,
rap.
No, I'm not going into
Oh, okay, we
Not
won't
going
put you on the spot.
Yeah.
But that's wonderful, man. And do you find then that being creative?
So you see this stuff. You see this stuff I was talking about, self-discovery and stuff.
Yes, yeah.
So I remember when I came out with treatment. I love all kinds of music,
Yes.
but I never thought I'd like opera music.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember when I came out. With treatment. I don't even know what song it was. It was Sarah Brightman, I think it was.
Yes.
One of her songs with Bocelli.
Right.
And I remember thinking, wow, that's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It was the song out of, I can't even remember the name of it, but it was the song out of Silence of the Lambs too, I think it was.
Okay.
And I remember thinking, yeah, it was sang in Italian.
Man, do you know something? I gotta say this. I didn't want to cut across you, but you've just touched on something there that's really quite important. You know, when we get clean, we don't know ourselves. So we don't know what we like. We don't know what we like to listen to. We don't know what we like to watch because we've never been in touch with our true self. And when we get that relationship started, we surprise ourselves with things we like. Classical music. What you said just touched on me because I had the same experience with classical music. I got this little thing, Alexa, and she talks.
I wanted one for Christmas.
Yeah, I got it for Christmas.
I wanted one for Christmas.
And hey, it's great. And one day I said, I'll put some relaxing music on, because, and just that to her. And she said, here's a playlist you might like of Amazon's Mexican classics. And then starts playing this classical music and it filled the whole room. And I just wanted something in the background, but it was beautiful. And I listen often now to classical music, so I completely relate. I didn't know I liked classical music because I didn't know what I liked. I didn't know myself. So that's a very important point. When we start to rediscover ourselves, this new nature in ourselves that we may never have really been in touch with, we discover things that we like and that appeal to us that we may not have known about. And that's a typical example. You like opera. And you didn't know.
No, there's a lot of stuff.
Absolutely. Like, let's just take that as an example. There's a lot of stuff. But isn't it a real journey of discovery when you get clean and start into this new life?
Right, so you get knowledge of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I feel. Right? And all knowledge, I believe, is self-knowledge.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Knowledge of self.
I'm not 100%.
Yes.
So I had to start to know myself.
Yeah.
I know that might sound a bit fairy.
Not to me, my brother. No.
So ultimately, all knowledge is self-knowledge. So if I don't know myself, I'm walking around headless in recovery. Do you know what I mean? My mind is gone. I don't know what I like. I don't know who I like. I don't even know what I like my fucking self.
I understand.
Do you know what I mean? So, look, listen, I'm not saying. Like, there's times I'm lost in recovery.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That's
I'm
very
lost in
honest.
life. Forget about recovery. I'm lost in
In
life.
life, yes, indeed.
Because at 38, I only started to fucking discover myself.
Yeah.
Discover the world. Discover other people other than a drug addict. Do you know what I mean?
Sure. You
'Cause
start to
they-
branch
they-
out of that circle.
They were my main people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I hear you.
Was drug addicts. Now it's different types of people. It's not only people in recovery. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I had to get to know other people.
Yes. Yeah.
But I had to get to know my fucking self.
And did you have to let go of friends and everything?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
100%. People like that I grew up with
I know.
that were still on that chosen path of, you know what I mean, using and stuff.
Yes.
And I had to leave them behind.
You gotta let them go.
Look, listen, there's people in recovery that I've had to leave behind.
Yes, indeed.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That I've met in treatment.
Yeah.
The likes of Darren.
Yeah, Darren, great
And
bloke as
Darren,
well.
I'm telling you, salt of the earth, and he'd always be my
Don't I
friend.
know it?
But we're not as close as what we once were.
I understand.
So what I'm saying is that sometimes the people that we walk
He's a
in
North Sider anyway.
yeah, that's
Isn't he,
true.
Darren?
Yeah. So people that we walk in with ain't always the people that we walk out with.
I know, my bro. I know.
Do you know what I mean? So it's
And sometimes, yeah, because we're growing. We're in it. William Burroughs, the writer in the 50s, he wrote a book called Junkie, a classic, and he said in it, a drug addict never stops growing because he's always in pain.
yeah, but that's the truth.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying to you, Paul. It's mad because
Yeah.
it just like the stuff that I've gone through since Christmas with my family and stuff and my personal life is that it's always through that fucking that severe pain where your back's against the wall where you either go one way or the other.
Yeah.
Thank God I've gone I go the way I go, but it's always that you always evolve from that. You know what I mean? And we're always fucking changing. It's peeling off the layers of the onion, isn't it?
Absolutely. And part of that process is sometimes dropping some people that are holding you back, or you go so far with them and then you want to go further and they're
Just
content
outgrow
with that. Yeah, you outgrow it.
Just
Absolutely.
outgrow people. And it's mad because we outgrow ourselves as well, in the sense of I'm not the self that I was a couple of months
We
ago.
outgrow our known self.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
So this is now I'm getting into it.
Yeah,
because
let's
now,
get there.
Because
Yeah.
it's like this is the type of deep shit that we used to talk
That's
about.
right,
See?
brother.
I mean,
I don't do talking about the weather very
no,
well.
no,
I can
me
do
either.
a couple of
Yeah, me
lines
either. Just
after
walk
that.
outside and you fucking
Say
know
something
the
relevant or I'm out of here. Yeah, yeah.
So this is what I mean about the journey of fucking self-discovery.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
Like I could sit here for 20 minutes and talk shite with people and have a laugh and, you know what I mean, slag and mess and joke.
Sure.
But when I get into this type of stuff, like when it's talking about
More sincere matters of the heart.
but it's not even sincere matters of the heart. It's just like I told you I'm a Sagittarian,
yeah, yeah.
right? So it's the deep, meaningful stuff
Right.
with philosophical thought behind it.
yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But do you know what I'm saying?
I do, brother.
So it's
I believe I do.
and it's mad because all the people that I looked up to when I was growing up, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like the likes of Jim Morrison and Bruce Lee and this,
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
and that.
yeah.
They're all Sagittarians.
They are.
They're all
Absolutely.
Sagittarians. That's crazy. Like, you know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah.
When we were only talking
We
about
both love the Doors. Didn't
yeah,
we?
and we were only talking about signs and this, that, and the other.
Symbolism, signs, yeah.
Like even growing up, when I look back on it now, I was into all that stuff.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I do, yeah. I always lean towards the esoteric a little, you know, because I was very interested in that which we couldn't see, but I felt there was
You
something
see, this
there.
is what I'm talking about, Paul.
Yeah.
Is that sometimes in recovery, or sometimes in my journey, it was like I'd forget about that stuff.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? I'd forget about how deep it can be, and forget about how thing, and then, as I said, it's the peeling of the onion. It's the discovery of self. It's self-knowledge ultimately means knowledge of self. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
And that's what I'm talking about. Is that, and this might be too
No,
deep for some
put it
people.
out there, bro. Yeah.
No, it's not that. that's the stuff that I sort of forget about.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And I leave that behind. I start getting a girl, or you know what I mean. I'll go to work every day, and I'll start getting a little shiny shit, and I
Yeah.
forget about that side of me
Right.
that I discovered, or that I rediscovered when I
Yes.
came into recovery.
And that side needs to be nurtured.
Mm.
You know, after coming through a difficult time there over the Christmas period and reassessing everything, you certainly seem to be out of that dark space that your head was in, and it's a wonderful journey, isn't it? This self-discovery journey,
Oh, 100%.
finding out who you are, what you like, the little things like that, and you bring more then to the table in your next relationship, in your next interaction, because you have a wealth of knowledge about who you are, and you know who you are within any particular given environment or social situation. And what's your dream? Any dreams and hopes, Phil, for the future there? Any little...
I just want to continue on the way I'm going.
You know
Do you know what I mean? And evolving and growing in myself, and you know, discovering new things and doing new things.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? I don't want to stagnate, Paul, in recovery.
Yes.
Because I always think, like, if you're stopping still, you're going backwards.
Absolutely, because everything else is going forward.
Banjo,
And if you
you know what I
stand still in recovery, you're falling behind.
So it's like that thing we were talking about, the creative energy.
Yeah, yeah.
So if I'm not using the energy for the good things, and if I'm using it like I mean to just stagnate and settle for what I have,
yes.
I fucking go backwards. And I've noticed that about myself.
Yeah.
So it's just about pushing myself. Not pushing myself to limits that I can't achieve.
Right.
Push myself, you know what I mean?
Yes, definitely. And your motivation today, still your kids and still the life that you're
Do
experiencing.
you know what it is? It's to show people, look and listen, I fucked up with my family and I fucked up with my kids 100% when I was growing up, like, you know what I mean? I was always there with them, but it's just showing that, like, listen, you know what I mean, I can be a different fucking person than what I was, because I told you, like, you know, I was asked to do all the stuff at the hospital and stuff.
Yes.
For my dad, and sort out for my family visits and this, that and the other, and talk to doctors and occupational therapists and fucking social workers and stuff.
All
these people wouldn't have asked me to do any of that.
Yes.
If I wasn't trying to live the way I'm trying to live.
I get you.
Do I fuck up 100%?
Yeah.
Because I'm a human being at the end of the day.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
But that's a great story of perseverance, of sticking with
Do you know,
it.
I didn't know how strong I was.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Because as the old mentality of a drug
I
addict,
relate
you know what I
to
mean?
that.
That's when you're in recovery or not, is we have these voices, like one voice saying, you're great, you're fucking excellent, well done. The other voice saying you're a fucking idiot.
Hey,
You know what I
bro,
mean?
we all know
Do you
that
know what I mean?
voice.
You're a clown.
Yeah.
Yeah. The best thing you can do is probably fuck off waiting people. Can't stand you. Go on out and use again.
I know,
So you have that
it's
little.
horrific.
That,
They're like the angel and the devil on your
but
shoulder,
listen, it's
aren't
the
they?
same as the yin yang.
Yeah.
Good energy, bad energy. It's the same as that Indian thing you were talking about. Like, you know what I mean? The negative and the positive.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So we have this thing between our ears. One thing is telling us, you know what I mean? No, you're a great fella. And the other thing is saying, no, you're not. You're a scumbag. You're a junkie.
Yeah.
So I hate
That's
using that word.
self-depreciating
But
voice.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I totally do. I think every addict can relate to that. And I would suggest that a lot of normal people would have those
Yeah,
little voices in
100%.
their head.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We think we're unique. I promise you. Drug addicts in recovery think we're fucking unique and no one else thinks like we do.
Yeah.
I don't care what anyone says. That's just my take on it.
No,
That's
I
my take on it, Paul. You know what I mean? We go to 12-step fellowships and people are saying, oh, my mind's at me.
Mm-hmm.
So is half the fuckers in the
Ah,
moment.
yeah.
Do you understand me?
It's like I had bad thoughts.
But they're not
today,
bleeding,
and
banging gear
yeah.
into their groin.
Yeah.
Right? They're not sitting down smoking a crack pipe. They're not sitting down blowing their brains out and all that shit.
Yeah.
Now they might be getting medicated through
Yes.
other antipsychotics and all that stuff. But we all have fucking these
Yes.
these two things in our head. I don't give a fuck. That's my belief.
That's called
And everyone has it.
the critical, that critical voice, and then we have that part of us that's maybe a divine voice. It's like the angel and the devil, isn't it?
Yeah.
One whispering in the
But
ear.
I think as the old addict, we're pure analytical of ourselves.
Yeah, I guess so.
And of other people, you know what I mean?
Oh
So
God, yeah.
are we overthinkers? Yeah.
Yes.
You know, are we
It's
overthinkers?
quite possibly our sickness, if you want to nail it
Is an
down.
overthinker.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
absolutely. And in the funny way, as destructive as that can be our greatest point as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Because we develop and hone these manipulative skills through years of drug addiction and trying to survive in this like crab in a bucket kind of environment. Everyone's out for themselves, they want just to get fixed up, and there's all this sentimental love. All right, bro, yeah, I'll look after you. I'll give you, that's as near to love as you get in the streets. And then we come into recovery, we come out of treatment fresh, and our mind is mental again.
But our hearts are pure, isn't we? 100%.
Yeah.
And do you know what? I swear to God, like we think, not only are we overthinkers, we're deep lovers, aren't we?
Yes,
in the
we
sense
are.
of like the love that we can give to other people.
Yep.
I can't give it
No
to
doubt.
myself sometimes, but I
Yeah.
swear to God, you know what I mean. And that's one thing I've noticed in myself is that I love deeply, and I
Yeah.
don't only mean with a girl. I mean with my family and my kids and all.
Man,
I never
really.
thought I liked any of my family. I promise you. I used to think myself, they're a share of bastards, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I love them fucking deeply. We set up this WhatsApp group with all my cousins and all, right?
Yes,
And
family.
I swear to God, we're having some laughing. But they're sharing all stories that I would have never remembered.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? And I used to think, oh, my home life was crap. My family, they didn't do a bollocks, like, you know what I mean? But it just shows me like the love that we have, and you know, the other night I said to them, I said, do you know what? I fucking love you all.
Yeah.
But I meant it from my heart, Paul.
Yeah, you know.
I promise you, I felt it.
Don't doubt
I
that for a
felt it.
moment.
So I think we're overthinkers, but we love deeply, you know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. And you know, another point that came up to me there while you were talking, Phil, just about our past and all, because a lot of us have lived pasts that we hold in great shame and stuff. Now, we can't change our past, but we can change how we look at our past. Because once we get right, we can look at it and say, well, that was part of my journey. It was terrible, some of these things that I did and the space I went into, but look, I'm good now. I'm looking for redemption. I'm going to put it right. I'm going to be good from here on out. And that changed. This is for me, Phil. You can't change the past, but I change now how I look at the past, which kind of changes the past for me. And, personally, my relationship with my past is good now. I just see it as a troubled man that really didn't know where he fitted in, had a lot of love to give, like yourself, but didn't know where to put it out without being vulnerable. And so I destroyed myself slowly until I came to a sense of awareness of myself. And that was difficult because to come into self-acceptance, we have to self-love, we've got to come to self-acceptance. And to come to that, we've got to look first at what we're accepting. So I have to have a fearless look at my own nature, all the things that embarrass me about myself or that cringe me about myself. I have to look and say, hey, you know what? So what? I'm just trying to have this living experience, and I'm trying to do my best here. And with that, knowing that I tried my best, if it doesn't fit other people's standards, so be it. Today, that doesn't bother me. I'm strong in knowing who I am. I know what I bring to the table, and I know what I'm prepared to give.
But
It's going to be received.
But what I find for me is that, I can accept all that what you just said there, but I still have that critical.
Oh, the critical analytic is in
Oh,
there. It'll always be
100%.
there. I don't listen to the
Yeah.
guy today, That
Do you
is
not?
example. No.
You see, 9 times out of 10 I don't.
Right.
But as I said, when my back's against the wall,
Well, let me correct that because I don't want to say that I'm bulletproof
The
with
Gordon.
that. I have my moments too.
yeah,
but
100%.
I do where I'm thinking, shit, what am I doing here? Is this? Oh God, am I going to regret it? Even when I'm doing a blog, sometimes I think, what have I got to say really? I've only got my experience and my creative mind, to put together with this. But sometimes I have moments of self-doubt. When in those moments I just hand it over.
Yeah.
I just hand it over, ask the Lord to fill me with His Spirit, and my understanding of what the Lord is just the good vibration of nature. That has
It's mad, like some people cringe when you talk about God, man.
Yeah, but God, think of it as good orderly direction, and wherever your God is, because we all got a God whether we know it or not.
Do you know, people say, the God thing, I remember even when I was a kid, Paul,
Mm-hmm.
I'd be praying my arse off at night time.
Yeah.
Oh, don't let my parents do it. Don't let my family do it. Now, that was a lot of fear,
Yeah.
right, that I had,
Yeah.
even when I was a child.
Yes.
But I always had that idea of God or the thought of God.
Yes. And it stands to you
Yeah, 100%.
later in life. It gave you something.
Because I
something
know
extra.
I've met a lot of people in recovery that don't have that type of,
Yes.
that hadn't got that type of
Connection maybe
Right.
with something. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and they really struggle with it. Whereas when I came into recovery, I didn't struggle with that stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
I didn't struggle with it
You
because I
didn't
always
because you
had,
had that foundation from your youth.
100%,
Yeah, yeah.
you know.
Wow. Man, it's a powerful story of somebody really turning his life around. I'm a big fan, Phil, of your recovery. If that's, if you can understand that, because we were in treatment together. Man, I thought I had it sus in there. You know, I was like, yeah, I got it this time. And do you remember? You know, I had like almost like a blast of light there. Just removed the drugs, and this light just came into me. But I didn't have any grounding.
I said it to you at the start of this. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I think the foundation that I had for me was like, you know, what I mean, I was going to 12-step meetings.
Yes.
And look, that's not for
No,
everybody.
no,
Paul.
no. But it certainly stood to you.
That's
though.
not for everyone. My belief in recovery is that, and I mean this, is that, you know the old saying, there's 100 ways to skin a fucking cat. Right, so, I mean, not everyone goes into a 12-step recovery program.
No, they don't.
Some people just go back out walking,
Yeah.
or go walking. You know what I mean? Some people fucking go to gym.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Some people do a bit of yoga.
Right.
Some people fucking travel. The only way that I ever got clean or got sober was through the program.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes, they do. Yeah.
And it's not that I fuck up all the time, Paul.
Mm-hmm.
I fucked up like really bad. You know what I mean?
But it's having that support there, is it?
But it's that, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what I mean? Yeah, like you have a 12-step program and it's a guide for living and all that crack what they say, and that's true. But then it all boils back down to, for me, is that's that discovery thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
That's
what makes the journey exciting.
100%.
Yeah.
Because if it was all the one way, we'd be all walking around like lunatics. Like, we'd be still walking around like lunatics. But you know what I'm saying? We'd be all walking around and we'd be the same type of people.
Yeah, no, we've got to grow. Once we get back and we got that drugs removed and we're over that physical addiction and we're feeling good about life, man, we got to keep taking it up a notch. Because you said, if you get to that point and you think, that's it, I'm done, I'm clean now, everything, and you take your eye off the ball, the rest of the world is moving, you're standing still, basically you're going backwards.
Yeah.
Just by standing still. So there's always that daily renewal. That's what I mean by handing it over. That daily renewal. Even if that's only to get up and just be aware, here I am another day. I get up now and I love it. Bro, I sat on this couch here for 2 years, man, watching that TV over there. For 2 fucking years I sat here and I was waiting to die. Every day I felt the energy draining out of me. And I was getting to that point, you know what? I'm fucking done. And in a point of desperation there, just maybe 6 months ago, I kind of resigned, I'm done. And the next morning, I remember having this wonderful peace on me. It's like I stopped struggling. I surrendered without knowing. And man, that has stayed with me till today.
Now, you want to hold on to it?
I certainly do. I certainly do. And you know, talking to someone like yourself, man, you only inspire me. And my hope is that you will inspire people that maybe sit and listen to this interview and know that it is possible, no matter how deep and dark your situation is. You can come out of it, you can lead a productive, good life, full of self-discovery and new experiences. And I think that in itself is wonderful, that message, because that's the message you carry to me. It can be
Life
done.
still happens, Paul, you know what I mean?
Yes, it does.
Shit still happens. But most of the time it doesn't stick. Do you understand me?
Yeah, it is.
Do you know what I mean? Whereas when you're active, everything
sticks, even other
Do you know what I
person's
mean?
shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
You know what I
flying
mean?
through the air.
If someone else's shit sticks to you
You're
and
like a magnet
and
for
you
it.
go and use on that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh man, yeah.
But no, I like my life.
Bro, listen, I like your life. You know what I mean? It's because I know I see you out there. You're grafting hard in the time when a lot of people aren't actually working there, and you know you're doing your thing. You go home, and you keep it simple, and you're still working on yourself. Man, you got a great message, and I'm really grateful that you took the time out to come and talk to me today. And
I'm glad you asked.
really, yeah. I didn't want to.
Oh, it was a
spot.
catch up as well.
Yeah.
This is more of a catch up for me than that.
And for me too. We're just
I
filling
fucking
it.
remember that in the recording day.
Yeah.
But for me, it was just a catch up. Yeah, it was good to see. It always is. Like,
Man, bro, I love you, and I just want to see it all coming together for you, man. I also lost my father recently, and my mother. Within the last 3 years, I lost both of them, and you grow up overnight. You grow up overnight when you realise you're the elder lemon.
And to know, as I said, like, I never give myself credit for the bit of strength that I have. You know what I mean? And what this has shown me is that I'm actually stronger than what I think. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
The stuff that was going through my head. Like, you know what I mean? And as I said, my body was worn out. I was starting to get run down and all. Like, I wasn't eating for a couple of weeks and stuff. And then to come out the other side of that and start feeling good again.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Powerful. Looking powerful, Phil.
And it's not like, was the times during the last few weeks where I thought, I'll just fuck it all away, 100%. But I always remember a man sharing, he's dead now, and in a meeting.
Yeah.
And I knew him well. I knew him before meetings, and his son had passed away years ago, and he said, when he was sharing, he was saying, look, if we had a drink on top of that, it'd be like piddling on his grave, and that stuck in my mind over the last month.
That could have saved your life, bro.
Yeah. Good to see you,
I love you, bro. That's great. We'll check in again. You don't mind if we do an update for the peeps?
No.
Later on in a couple of months, just to check in with you now that you've introduced yourself to YouTube land. Hey, this is Paul Tracy. This has been a really good interview for me, from my heart, and I hope you enjoy it. Stay tuned with Cold Turkey. We'll be back with, regular updates. I'll do an interview once a week. I'll have a reaction video. And I'll have my daily check-ins and rants. What else would a guy do during COVID? Stay blessed, stay healthy, and hey, any information anybody wants on some of the unorthodox detox methods that I'm aware of, become involved in the channel. We're going to start going live as well in the mornings from next week. So, hop on, get involved, share your thoughts, and I love you guys. To all the Cold Turkey crew, from me and from Phil, good night.